The Bitcoin halving of 2020 just took place. There have only been 2 other Bitcoin halvings in Bitcoin history, and this is the 3rd Bitcoin halving in Bitcoin history. Historically, the Bitcoin halving ushers in a long-term bull market. And the reason for this is because Bitcoin is an inflationary asset that is going to inflate all the way up to 21 million Bitcoin. Each halving event decreases the inflation rate for Bitcoin. This makes Bitcoin more scarce over time, and also during each halving, miners get a 50% reduction in mining rewards. This also means that miners have 50% less Bitcoin to sell onto the open market. So the combination of Bitcoin becoming more scarce, increasing demand, reduced selling pressure from miners, this allows for price appreciation in the long term. So for me, this is a long-term bullish event. Right now, Bitcoin is up 6.2% in the past 24 hours. We are currently trading around 9,640. Right now, Bitcoin is seeing the most gains out of all the top cryptos. Generally, what happens is once Bitcoin finds a top and begins to trade sideways, then the altcoin market begins to move. Looking at the weekly chart, things are getting quite interesting. Bitcoin is currently trading above the 2-year-long downward sloping resistance. There's still 3 days left on this weekly candle. If Bitcoin is able to close this weekly above the downward sloping resistance, this would be a macro bullish signal. And right now, Bitcoin is gaining some positive momentum on the weekly MACD. We did get a bullish crossover and things are looking pretty good. And if you look at the weekly RSI, what we can see is that we are not yet overbought. So from a weekly perspective, this means that Bitcoin still has room to move to the upside and enter overbought territory before seeing a major rejection. And now I'm looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, and what we can see on the daily chart is that Bitcoin is still within a higher low trajectory. This is actually turning into an upward sloping price channel. The 2-year-long downward sloping resistance comes in, of course, at 10,500, and the next resistance after that is that $9,500 area that we saw on April 29th. And then what we saw was on May 6th, Bitcoin did get a breakout above the downward sloping resistance, and we quickly came back to test the upward sloping support line. Now Bitcoin is actually getting above that downward sloping resistance once again, and we are remaining within a higher low trajectory, so this is very bullish. Another thing that I've noticed is that Bitcoin is remaining above the 21-day EMA, and the 21-day EMA has acted as a very good support indicator in past runs, and more recently, guys, the run from 6430 up to 10,500 from the beginning of 2020 until we hit 10,500, we held above the 21-day EMA as well during this run. And after the global pandemic, Bitcoin was able to get back above the 21-day EMA and is now using it as support. So this is a key moving average to keep your eye on the daily chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, looking at some of the lower time frames, Bitcoin actually got a break above the downward sloping resistance. This is the 2-year-long downward sloping resistance. So we are getting above that level right now. So yesterday, a lot of people were looking at this potential head and shoulders pattern that could have taken place along the downward sloping resistance, right? We could have had a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then if we did get rejection off of this level, that would have meant that Bitcoin was losing momentum. But what we saw was a break above the downward sloping resistance, which means that Bitcoin still has a lot of bullish momentum. What I want to see right now for the bulls is I want to see us remain above this previous downward sloping resistance, which is coming in around 9,300. If the bulls can remain above this previous downward sloping resistance at 9,300 and actually create support along this previous downward sloping resistance, this would mean that the bulls are making great progress and that things could actually remain very bullish. If we do break below 9,300, then at the very least, we need to hold above the upward sloping support line on the daily chart that we've been holding above for the most part during most of this run up, right? So even if we do break below 9,300, as long as we're holding above 8,700, things can still remain bullish above the upward sloping trend line. So again, this downward sloping resistance we see on the chart is the 2-year-long downward sloping resistance, and Bitcoin is seeing price action above that right now. This is one of the most bullish signs we've seen in a very long time. But of course, the final bullish signal that we need for the bulls is a break above 10,500. I think that is obvious for most traders and most investors right now, is that $10,500 mark is that major supply line that we need to get above. So as long as Bitcoin can maintain above the upward sloping trend line and above the 21-day EMA, this could mean that Bitcoin is looking to test up towards the $10,500 level. So if Bitcoin is not able to create support here and continue up, and we break down below the 21-day EMA, this could be a sign that Bitcoin is looking to test down to possibly 7,700 for that next major downside target. 7,700 is coming in along a previous support and resistance area from October of 2019 and from December of 2019. This is a pretty historic support resistance zone. So if we break below the upward sloping support and we break below the 21-day EMA, I would be looking to target about 7,700. Overall, from a big picture, even if we do test this low, this would still potentially create a higher low. You know, overall, things are super bullish for Bitcoin right now, and it's going to be pretty tough to turn me bearish on Bitcoin. One thing that could make me a little bit more bearish is if we break below 64.30. You know, that would show extreme weakness in the market, although I do not expect this to happen. And again, for me right now, what I want to see is a weekly candle close above the downward sloping resistance, and I want to see the price action generally remain above this downward sloping resistance, and then, you know, look to get a break above 10,500. Even market structure that plays out like this would be a very bullish thing for Bitcoin. That's generally how I'm seeing the market right now. I mean, we're in an uptrend. I got to remain bullish. As long as we're in this uptrend, I got to remain bullish. But also, guys, the last video that I uploaded on this channel is an important video. I'm going to put the link in the description, and the title is Preparing for the Future of Finance. And I want you guys to watch that video and really think about your approach to this market, why you're in this market, what is your purpose, what is your goal? Because you got to have a purpose and a goal. You know, if you don't have a real purpose or a real goal in this market, you're going to have a tough time getting yourself situated. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. Before you go, smash up that like button, subscribe to me on Twitter. Also, join the Discord channel. We have a lot of cool chats in the Discord channel. And guys, click that link below. Check out the CryptoWatch platform. It's my preferred platform for charting and trading. I'm going to be doing some more tutorials on the CryptoWatch platform, explaining some more cool features and how I use the platform. So those are going to be coming out in the next few weeks, and I will see you guys in the next video.